Morning, guys. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training. It's about 7 o'clock this morning. Waking up a little bit early. Not early, but just half asleep here. The last few days, I've had a few interviews with people that are interested in getting a Dutch Shepherd. And in that process, I'm basically just asking a lot of questions, trying to find out where the people's heads at and what kind of knowledge base they have, etc. And out of the half a dozen to 8 interviews I've had, everybody at this point is really inexperienced. Okay, and it's important that you understand that these dogs are not your. They're very high drive, very propensities towards certain traits that you need to know what you're doing. And if you're overmatched, if you have a dog that's overmatched from you, in other words, just too much dog, you're only going to run into problems, okay? You need to have some kind of support group. I've sold dogs to people that have trainers near them. I have people that are horse people that are a little bit more savvy about animal husbandry and dealing with the animals. And then the group that I've been having, a lot of them I've had to turn them down because their naiveties and their concepts and their perceptions are all based on what they're watching on YouTube. And they really want a Dutch Shepherd. Cool, and they're watching all the videos and they're seeing all these dogs and they're thinking things that they have no clue. They don't have any concept of really what they're getting into. Okay, and I don't want to place a dog with somebody that has the inexperience that's going to cause a problem on the dog. Okay. Yesterday we had a very prospective buyer that's gone to a dog training school. He's out there doing it. It's towards working dogs. He's going to be doing protection. He's had a Rottweiler before. He was totally qualified. And it was a bummer because he's put out a lot of money for the school and he's got a lot of he's over budget right now. Okay, so it's just not a good time for him. I thought he was going to be able to do it and swing it, and as he got into thinking about the shipment, because of what's going on with the COVID and all the stuff that's going on right now, it just put him over the top with his budget. He couldn't afford it, so he had to back out. So that one large one that I made a mention on one of my threads that the dog was available was taken. That was going to be going to a new home is no longer the case. So the big one is available, and so is the run of the litter. The last 2 in the litter are still available. But I'm trying to, when I first did my first litter, I came out because I know what I'm breeding. Okay, I know that I'm breeding working dogs that have a caliber that are a little bit higher intensity level when they get wound up and get going, and that could have the potential to spin out. In other words, to go into directions that when somebody with no experience wouldn't know how to handle. Okay, and one of those is reactivity. Okay, and I've seen it a lot in the Dutch Shepherds. I've seen some out there that are just little squirrels, and it's because they just didn't get raised properly. They didn't, These dogs I've chosen and I'm breeding because I am into this. I've been doing this since I was 12, and I'm pretty good at what I do. They're a challenge, okay, and they're a challenge even to me. Okay, I have to really be stepping back and looking at it and always analyzing what's going on with the animal and get the dogs through it. Okay, so it's not to say that every dog in the litter would be this way, but you just don't know. Okay, so I am going on the side of caution, right? I want to make sure that the dogs have a qualified buyer that can handle the animal. So the one person I talked to the other day was a family man. He wanted the home protection with everything that's going on with the pandemic and all the stuff, the strife that we got going on. He wanted some protection for his home and his family. And I understood that, but he had 3 young daughters, okay? And the 3 young daughters, there's no way, okay? Kids, above about 15 years of age start to settle down a little bit, 16, they get a little bit more intelligent. But before that, a lot of times they're squirrels, okay? You get a 6, 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old child, and they're a little squirrel. They get real flighty. They run. That's all the things that are going to stimulate this dog in the wrong direction. You're going to have problems, okay? So it's just not a good dog, especially not a first good dog. I mean, this guy wanted to do protection, and he doesn't have a clue. And there's no harm, no foul with that. We all start the same place. I started learning when I started learning. Everybody does. There's nobody that's immune to having to be in that spot that you're just starting to learn, you're just starting to grow, and there's no harm with that. But like I told him, you're probably better off with a shepherd And I suggested that he go out to a working dog club and start hanging around some people on the sideline and ask questions, get into it, learn, grow before you make a choice of going to a dog like this. Okay, it's a lot of dog. Okay, even for professionals. Right now, as an example, 90% of the dogs out in the law enforcement are all Malinois. Okay, and then the other percentage would be Dutch Shepherds. You see a few of them out there. So that being the case, you can see that they're even a challenge for law enforcement. Otherwise, the Dutch Shepherd would be the most popular breed, right? So there's a reason for that. The dogs are a little more serious, and they have propensities to go to winding up to a level that a lot of people can't handle. Okay, so there are a lot of dog, and that because of that, there's even in law enforcement, even in other circles, there even in working dogs, you don't see them that much. And there's a reason for that. There are a lot of dog. Okay, so just keep it in mind. They're a great dog, but at the same time, you need to really understand what you're getting into when you get a dog like this. So just a little word to the wise, and then I don't want to scare anybody away. I'm more than welcome to do interviews and get to know you and see if I can point you in the right directions. You'll spend some time with me and get to learn a little bit. And I hope everyone that I did an interview with did learn and did grow a little bit and understood, maybe step back from their perspective. Because I think this YouTube stuff and watching all these videos, even I put out a lot of them, right? They cause a lot of misconception or ability to perceive a certain way and a certain slant, because it's all about how you message that video, right? There's some people that are really good at doing their messaging and their branding, and so there's some out there that are saying, "Oh, the best dog in the world, a great family dog, this, that." They just want to sell dogs, guys. They're not going to be honest and frank and honest with you, and it's important that we do. In the dog world, though, it's known that most people will not step back and really tell you their dog's fault. They say it's bulletproof, and because they want to sell the product, and they don't care about the person on the other end of that, and they don't care about the dog that much. Okay, and it's a sad failing of our profession. We hear about it all the time. Guys that are placing dogs that they really shouldn't in the wrong hands. There was an older couple that called us a while back that got given a dog that was propensity to bite, and the dog chewed up his wife. And they were in their 75, 80, close to 80 years old. Okay, it's not something I want to be a part of, and I don't want to put the dog through that, and I don't want to put the people through that. So these dogs are all that and then some, and you have to have a little bit of experience in working them, and you're developing. When you're talking a puppy, you're the one that's going to develop that puppy. Okay, and if that puppy has a propensity to spin out and maybe become reactive, and you don't know how to handle that sort of thing, you got a problem. Okay, so. Great protection dogs, great working dogs, and you'll see my dogs work like a top, but that's because I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I'm 58 years old now. How many years do you think that's under my belt? I've worked about every dog you can possibly think of, and a lot of problem solving, a lot of things that you have to deal with when you get people coming at you that they always come to you with problems. This dog's doing this dog's doing that. And 99% of the time, it's always because of their lack of understanding and knowledge. And that they waited. They wait because until it becomes a problem they can't handle anymore at all. And then they go to a trainer. Well, now they've been rehearsing that behavior for a long time, and it's a lot of work sometimes, and trying to educate and to teach and to get people to understand what they cause. The human factor in this stuff is really, that's why they say we don't train the dog, we train the people, and that's very true. A dog is a product of two things: his genetics, his genetic stamp, who he is as his breed, whatever it may be, and the environment. You are his environment, and what you do and how you handle that animal is key and paramount to what that animal turns out to be. Okay, so just keep it in mind. I thank you very much. You have a good day. Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training. Bye-bye.